Hello and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and founder at CIO News. This is our exclusive digital dialogue fireside chat powered by Zoom on the topic of customer experience and collaboration. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It is my pleasure to invite our guest for today. We have Mr. Kersi Tavadia, the Chief Information Officer at Bombay Stock Exchange. Kersi has 40 years of vast industry experience in IT software development, infrastructure services, and cybersecurity for organizations operating in financial services and capital markets. In his 12-year stint at BSE, Kersi has played a leading role to transform BSE into world's fastest exchange with response to times of 6 microseconds. He's strong proponent in open source technologies and demonstrated walk the talk by successfully implementing one of the largest data warehouse on open source platform. Taking this to the next level, he's instrumental in use of artificial intelligence, machine learning in BSE's surveillance function by implementing social media analytics and rumor verification. So it is an absolute pleasure and honor to have you today on this platform, and we're really looking forward to learn from your experience.
Thank you for having me here.
I'm also accompanied by Raje, the General Manager and Head India and SAARC region from Zoom. Samir joined Zoom in April 2019 to kickstart and grow its operations in the country. And Samir is responsible for leading strategic initiatives, operations, pre-sales, sales, customer success, and general management function. Soni has previously held senior leadership positions in technology MNCs, including Cisco, WebEx, IBM, and Microsoft during his career. Soni, it's an absolute pleasure to have you once again on the platform.
Thank you, Khushbu. Thank you for having me here.
Great. To great experiential people on this platform, I would love to start my discussion with putting across my first question to you, Kersi. Hybrid workplace isn't a choice anymore for organizations, especially the digital natives, and a lot of large organizations have also adopted to hybrid workplace. What are your key challenges adapting to this new business environment? How is the working model changed for BSE post-COVID?
So my first take is when things are new, it looks very good. So initially, the work from home seemed to be the panacea and changing the world and all the things. But over a period of time, people are now again trying to come back. So there are different school of thoughts. But at one point in time, everybody thought, okay, now nobody will come back to office. Okay, but now the talks are again going back and saying, okay, we missed all this because we did not come to office. So you realize what you have missed. Okay. And then we are trying to weigh the pros and cons of whether coming to office is more productive or working from home is more productive. So there will always be a dialogue and debate between the departments, between the industries. So generally, it will all very depend on the industry on which we are working from. Specifically, in a regulated entity like ours, it will not be very encouraging to work from home. But if there was a compulsion period, yes, we could also work from home. It was that way. But will it always be work from home? The answer does not seem to be very positive. So again, like I said, it all depends upon the industry in which you operate on, and the company and the function that you're operating. There could be a lot of marketing companies and logistics companies, who are required to do field work. Maybe for them, they would never come to an office. But for a regulated and a regulatory type of companies, yes. Even for large software houses, it's a mixed model thing. So there, it is always going to remain hybrid. There will be some people who will always, because that any which way that model was prevalent even pre-COVID. Like no, people used to, instead of calling work from home, people are working from remote how the customer offices. So anyway, they were not in their own offices. So again, so I would just extrapolate that. So that industry was knew how to work from not in your own corporate office. So this is what I'm saying. So now there's definitely a thinking happening that we want to call people back. People now don't want, some people prefer doing this so that they're saving on time. So individuals' productivity can depend on working from home. People who are not required to meet the customers daily. Like there will be a lot of people who are doing back office work. So their routine is monotonous back office work and doing these things. Now, those kind of people are good candidates for work from home. But yeah, if you are doing a lot of client facing thing, then obviously like you need to be in the center where the action is about.
Right, right, absolutely. So, your thoughts on this?
Well, I absolutely agree with Mr. Tavadia here. I think it's a period of uncertainty. And what is hybrid? I mean, hybrid was always there, right? I mean, people used to always work from. I remember in my earlier life, I used to work, not go to office. I mean, I would work from my client's place or somewhere else. And it's the same thing today. People are working, employees are working from maybe a cafeteria, maybe from home or customer's office or anywhere wherever the time is suitable for, right? And given the traffic conditions and pollution in Delhi, people are even working from their cars and when they're commuting to work. So even that is happening. So basically, it's nothing hybrid. I wouldn't say it's hybrid. Hybrid is gone. It's more like the uncertain period where people are working from. It's work from anywhere. It's
Absolutely.
no longer work from home or work from office. People want that flexibility. Some people, new generation, want to work from Starbucks. Some generation want to go to coffee day, and so on and so forth, right? And that's the point. It's the option of flexibility. It's the option of giving, empowering the employees of where they choose to work from. That's all.
Absolutely. Talking about the employee experience and the employee engagement. So employee engagement and experience is mostly dependent on the seamless performance of collaboration platform and that the organization supplies. So wanted to understand, Percy, which solutions for collaboration are you providing for new users and is there any like how do you kind of ensure the adherence to HR and compliance guidelines?
So initially we started off because during the pandemic there were multiple solutions that were available. Okay, but we tried to zero down on the Teams platform because we were very much a user of Office 365 then, and since Teams was already a product bundle, however, for 2 years prior to that, nobody used Teams, like though it was there because nobody thought that what is the use, the meetings, the virtual meetings were never sort of thought of it. Now, when this came up, it was already there, and then that's how people started using this thing. Then we also started using a lot of things on the WebEx because we already were having some WebEx licenses. So that's it. I think the Zoom came in much later, and there were some. Uh, so I think that's how we also. But as far as we are concerned, we are still on the majority between shuffle between these two platforms, like the client. Whereas technical calls or non-technical call larger. So it depends upon the what is the audience size. Like it's more to do with it's a small collaborative thing, team meeting, or we are doing a large meetings. Accordingly, we choose either of these two from what is available with us. There's nothing against Zoom, Summit. Don't get me wrong, but it's just that they were the early guys, and initially we were struggling with too many, so we had to zero down on this, which is the most. But we definitely use Zoom for participating. Like today, also we are getting onto the Zoom platform for so getting into Zoom is always very easy. That's what is my personal like, thought. But we are not against anything, but since we have to standardize on the less number of brokers, we also as an organization policy, we also have to control. We cannot be opening everything for everybody. So it's more from that.
Well, absolutely. I do understand. And here we are having a very candid chat about, about the future of collaboration and what employees
Yeah.
need. And needless to say, I mean, you have an entire ecosystem around Microsoft products and so on and so forth. And most of our customers do use Microsoft Teams. There's no doubt about it. But what we are hearing from CXOs and CIOs today is three elements. And let me share that with you. The first element is about the employee experience. If I have to break it, I'll have to break it into two parts. The employee experience component. First is a tool which really works from in the field when they are out there, wherever they are in whatever option, right? So that's the first one. And the second is the experience that they get integrated with applications, embedded into applications, and not a disjointed kind of an experience and so on. So that's the first component. And the second component is about the redundancy plan by the CIOs in terms of having a backup for collaboration. Like today, again, the Delhi government has announced and requested all the private sector and government sectors to work from home as much as possible because of the pollution thing and avoid traveling, right? I read that news yesterday. And I don't know how much is going to be possible, especially in your scenario when it's a regulated entity, and similarly for banks and so on and so forth, right? When you have to be in. But considering all that, there has to be a redundancy plan, because if one platform something has to happen, then what happens to the entire communication thing? And communication today is a mission critical for any organization. What we saw at the beginning of the pandemic, you yourself mentioned that once the pandemic set in, you suddenly Teams usage went up. Well, what happens if there is a stoppage on one platform? Then obviously fall back on another platform. So the redundancy is coming up. So these are the three elements that we are hearing from CXOs like yourself in the industry. The first one being the employee experience, which is divided into two. Employees don't want to have a disjointed experience, poor experience, not a single sign-on, not a integrated application. They want to have a one-click experience for everything. Click on one thing and all the apps get integrated. Salesforce or CRM system, or it could be hospital management system, or any other applications which is embedded with the collaboration tool. Managers need to capture details from it. Leaders need to take data from that. Similarly, on the field level, while it's a regulated entity, we might enforce certain applications, but at the ground level, it doesn't work. Employees end up using tools of their choice on their own devices, putting an entire organization and security at risk. And final is the redundancy component. So these are the three critical elements why organizations like BSE choose to have multiple platforms and Zoom as mission critical for their options.
Great, thank you, Sameer, and Kersi for sharing your perspectives on the employee experience piece. Now, moving forward on the customer experience, we've also seen, customers have evolved, they've changed, their customer demands have changed, right? So I wanted to put across this question, Kersi, how do you measure CX, and what better approach that you propose for measuring and improving customer experience?
Customer engagement is a sort of a day-to-day affair. Like now, it's like we every day meeting customers and customer meetings. In fact, now because of this virtual world, the customer meetings is also shorter. Like now, earlier used to meet 2 or 3 customers a day, maximum. Right? Because today you can meet at least 5 to 10. Okay, so that's the kind of engagement for the customers it is having. So that's uh, more from a regulatory side also. If you had a customer dissatisfaction, if you want to call up, generally we just do a quick call or meeting call or schedule call. So the problem, the resolution, like you're trying to address any grievances, like so this type of platform very well, because you are more expressive, you can talk with, unlike a phone, like or a WhatsApp caller, like this kind of things where you're actually showing and demonstrating or sharing screens, problem resolutions. So this is helping us a lot in that area. That's what I'm saying. This customer engagements, because you solve the problem. I think that's where you eat the cake, like you buy in, like because not by selling anything. That's what we believe, because once you've sold customer is a problem, that's why you're talking to him and not for new businesses. Okay. So once you keep solving it, that's where you keep engaging. So it's very easy to do it. Customers also prefer it. And we are trying to get more and more less paperwork, or like even like, for example, now e-KYC or digital KYC type, whatever we call that now, as becoming an industry now. So whenever you wanted to prove, now you don't ask people to send the photograph, click, or where they are location. Everything is captured digitally. Okay. So we have APIs, like people have published APIs for using certain things. So within the application, you can call and record a statement, like whether you're a person, you're alive. So you make the person read some statement with holding something. Yes, I am so and so, I am here. So what is talking in whether location we can cross verify. So these are the kind of good use cases are coming up into the market, which are helping the entire industry with this like sort of.
Absolutely.
So for customers also, it's become very easy because they prefer to be on a mobile for 2 minutes, 5 minutes rather than xeroxing, sending, couriering, or uploading. So I think that even now people are fed up of uploading
True.
the documents like that.
True. True. Great. Sameer, your thoughts. You've been interacting with CIOs and CX heads across industries. So, what, according to you, are the new building blocks for CIOs for
Well,
ensuring
again,
customer delight? Yeah.
I think I would agree with Mr. Tavadia here. And while he spoke about eKYC, one thing I would like to say, when somebody is doing a KYC, for all you know, it could be Zoom at the back end, right? And
Yeah.
that's what is real happening right now. I'll give you an amazing example. I was at a CIO forum in Bangalore, and couple of industries which are into manufacturing, and they have manufacturing and installation into very remote areas, right? And where it's very difficult to uh, you know uh, s- monitor the workers, monitor the engineers, and provide them real time support. And the engineers on the field are actually giving a feedback. People sitting at HQ, they don't know anything, they don't experience what it. So what, we are actually running meetings via drones and helping the headquarters actually see what the engineers are doing on the field while the installation happening, the challenges that they are experiencing. Similarly, we are doing geotagging for land surveys and so on and so forth, right? So these are all real life use cases which are happening. And when we started doing this, and that's what is getting captured into Zoom. If you see Zoom as a it's evolved completely. We were a meeting application. Today we are a complete collaboration platform, and there are various components in it, right from the PBX system to chat systems to so on and so forth. One of the key areas is API and SDK integrations, allowing into. So we have you might be meeting a doctor and having consultation online, but it might be on Zoom, and it might be getting recorded into the hospital management system, thereby providing more information to the hospital as well as the doctor, to in terms of even audit, or even in terms of later kind of stuff. We have a banking institution doing their relationship management via embedded Zoom into their own platform. So I mean, these use cases are happening, and that's what I said. It's EX is one on one side, and similarly the CX, because these employees are the ones who are going out and consuming, right? They're so used to booking an cab. No longer anybody goes and hails a cab. They're calling a cab using an app. That has changed. We need to understand, even a small telewala, or a small time vendor is making accepting digital payments, right? The UPI payments or transactions that we did in country were phenomenal. I think it was like close to about 6 billion or something, if I remember the number correctly. So I mean, that's humongous, and they are experiencing. They are the part of experiencing this digital world real hand. And if that experience is not provided to employees or customers, they are going to go somewhere else. And that's not the new thing, but it's the must to do things today for improving employee and customer experience.
Great. Thank you, Sameer, on that. Keeping the time constraint, I have my one last question for you, Mr. Kersi and Sameer. Any advice that you would like to give for the future of customer experience and collaboration for our viewers on the platform? That'd be great.
No, I would just share our experience, or there's nothing like an advice here because everybody is intelligent enough and wiser for their own business. But try to use these tools for solving problems. Like use them as a problem solving tools and not the tool by itself. It's not going to solve your problem. But if you try to embed this kind of tools or try to make use of this tool, unfortunately, a lot of times these tools are only looked upon as a meeting tool. I mean, okay, for doing so they would often compare what is the difference between a WhatsApp call or versus a Zoom call. I mean, so I think that is the ignorance, I would say, or maybe people like Samir and the others in the others, they have to do a lot of market education of what are the APIs available to them to make use of. That's where actually this power is, because otherwise it's like people like do not know the features that are there in and a lot of business features which are there in the Zoom. Like even today, as I speak, I can tell for myself, like, no, I know so many peers, like, who don't even, like, we know of API because you have developed certain things. So there are some APIs available. Lot many people don't even know that there are APIs available with this guy, which you can integrate and use in your corporate applications. Forget any other thing. You can use that. So I think this is where something the OEMs will have to look upon. It's more to do with the educating and awareness. I think then the use cases will be real use cases will come out like, rather than only the meetings.
Great. Absolutely. Samir, that's all.
Well, absolutely. It's no longer about the meetings. It's about the collaboration platform and what can collaboration do to help organizations improvise their employee and customer experience. And that's what we are doing at Zoom. And yeah, I mean, we need to do a much better job to advocate those features, functionality. There are so many things. And by the time we are finished with this call, probably Zoom would have another 100 features out there.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I think you need to have, that's why I was saying that most of these people, like, you know, there are many guys in the labs, but not many guys in the front of the customers, like, you know, so I think that's where there is and this is typically of this fast growing tech companies, the feet on street educating what is coming out of the labs, getting developed in the labs. Visibility is not there.
Absolutely, point taken. And I think we need to do a better job on that, and we will continue to do that. And I think that's the future ahead, right? I mean, for embedding APIs, integrated applications, and holistic collaboration platform, right from when a customer comes to the website, from chat to elevating to a phone call to routing it to the agent, to a video meeting, to your large conference rooms, and then integrating the rest of the technologies into it, like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and so on and so forth, bringing it all together into the platform. If you're sitting in a conference room monitoring or setting the aircon temperature or monitoring the carbon dioxide levels in the conference rooms, all that can be done on a collaboration platform. It's just a matter of how and when, and a lot of it can be done already on Zoom. So that's the future.
Fantastic. Great conversation with you both. Thank you so much for taking out time for joining us on the CIO News platform and sharing a dialogue with me. Thank you so much. And I look forward to having many more conversations with you both. Thank you so much, Kersi. Thank you so much, Samir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.